This little thing's getting under my skin. It's about to get tossed. I'm about ready just to go on with some of the platforms I constructed that seem to be a whole lot more cooperative. This is ready to fly. Only needs a battery. No battery in it. And if we look at what it weighs, oops, the tail's touching in the back. Have to put something there so it will not touch. There we go. 492 grams. Am I reading that right? Looks like it to me. 492 grams. The best information I can find so far on the ZOHD website says flying weight 361 grams without FPV gear. Now, I don't know if it weighed 361 grams without FPV gear. I just know what it weighs now. They don't seem to give me an all-up weight here. They just give me weights that scare the holy daylights out of me, because I'm already, 131 grams over this 361 with the FPV gear on it. That gives that MRO put 131 grams of FPV gear on it, but there's no indication here of how much FPV gear, or it just doesn't give me an all-up weight anywhere. I don't know. Don't feel. I even know that this wooden box is not in mine. Plywood box. Other than that, they're the same. There is a 3D printed plastic box to hold a GoPro camera like this in mine. I think they either knew or thought the 3D printed plastic was lighter than this plywood. I don't know. Could be. Just have to print it and see. Other than that, this is exactly what I have. But I cannot find an all-up weight for it. So that's a little scary. I've got an all-up weight for every other platform I've got in the room, and they're all under it. This one scares me. So yeah, wait till you see the weights I give you when I got batteries in them. So first off, here's the little 1300 milliamp hour battery I have been flying it with. I was flying it with a 3S 1300 like this one at first, and said, nah, got to have more potential. 147 grams. This is the battery, 2200 milliamp hour I got yesterday to try to keep working this thing out. I can get a good center of gravity with both these batteries. There's no problem with that. It weighs 247 grams. Being pushed more and more and more towards lithium ion. The only pack I have and possibility, in my humble opinion, is this one. I have a different one. I have a 5000, but it's much bigger than this and won't actually physically fit in the plane. So this is 3500 milliamp hour. It weighs 215, 216. We'll call it 215. So with those different batteries installed, the 1300 is an all-up weight of 638, all in grams. The 2200 LiPo, 739 grams. The 3500 lithium ion, 707 grams. First of all, this number sort of scares the hell out of me. It's twice that 361 grams without FPV gear just for throwing the battery in. They don't say if that 361 is with or without the battery. It's what if it is with the battery already in it, then taking 247, well, yeah, if it's without the battery in it, it's just this perplexing. So anyway, the main point of this is if it was this and it actually flies pretty darn good in fly-by-wire at this, I've only done that with the 3S and it flew like 20 minutes and you just had to be real easy with the current. And then with the 4S, it should fly further with the same milliamp hours because voltage is the potential to do work and there's a higher potential there. The current is just the driving force. It stays the same in this case. Actually, truthfully, the current's less with a higher voltage, but let's not get way down deep into that crap. So, with such a difference in the milliamp hours on these two batteries, it doesn't seem to be too wise at first to try this battery in it. It's what, 22 grams? No, 32 grams heavier than the lithium ion battery, which is just over an ounce, I think. I'm not quite sure. I think in there 28 grams an ounce, 28 or 30. I should know my weights better, but I don't. So that pushes me right in this second at the lithium ion. Save as much weight as possible. Try not to break it. I'm about ready to put it in the floor and jump up and down on it and break it. I'll just tell you. Because look what happens over here. So now here we are with these two batteries. And we're fat, dumb, and happy, right? Well, I'm at least fat and dumb. Sometimes I'm not too happy, but it's looking more and more like this battery isn't going to really hack it. Probably for the 30 grams, maybe. How far is this already? Over the all-up weight. So that's pushing more and more towards the lithium ion. But watch this. That's as far as you can really get the lithium ion in there easily. And here's the CG. It's nose heavy, all right. Let me see if I can hold that a little better. Probably going to drop it and break it. Ooh, wouldn't that be bad? There. That's about the CG. That's how down nose heavy it is, which scares me again. And the reason for that is when MRO put this together, you see this little black cable. Whoops. Let me get a screw stick. Let me try to get some of this other stuff out of the way. Stay down there. Okay. Let's try to put a little light on the subject and see if that helps. You see this little black cable right here going out to right here to this USB port on the outside of the model. You can see a lot of it right there. That's keeping the battery from going in there any further than about right there. I did move the current sensor and stuff previously because it was over here in the way from some of the other batteries, but
I certainly didn't do anything about this one yet. I did hot glue it up to the top of this foam because it was just hanging down in there and it was really stopping batteries from going in. So that's something that's been around in Ardu for about, started in the Pixhawk days, I believe. And a lot of Ardu Pilot type flight controllers and stuff have that on them. This is the little pigtail that comes out for connecting to the USB for Mavlink on the ground. And this is what we're seeing in there. And you see this cable here is quite substantial, which is neither here nor there. The problem is this connector here is also quite substantial. So from right here to right here in there is what's actually stopping me from putting that lithium-ion battery in there and getting a CG with it. Unless somebody thinks that far down, nose down is okay. And they've also either hot glued up or something there. I don't know if they went into that connector and pulled off a ground or a voltage to do with this camera and up to the front camera or not. I never have been able to see what happened in there, and there's no details on it. So even if I could get rid of the wire, just take it loose from the board and snip it, and you can get as many of them you want. That's about Ardu. You just buy all the cables. You don't have to make them. Not that I mind making cables. I just don't make them too pretty. They're electrically good, but physically not too beautiful. So I can take it loose from a flight controller and clip it right there, but I can't really cut much off of that connector, and it might mess with these wires. Then I'd have a hole in the side of the fuselage there. Can't go far to the right because of that capacitor and current sensor that's right there. So this little so-and-so is getting to be really a pain in the posterior. Just not what you want for your first experience, believe me. So I'm going to have to smoke this one over for a while. I may just put that 22, no, I know what I'll end up doing, I bet, is I'll put the 1300 in there and just try to get a 15, 20 minute flight out of it and see what I can do with it. And it's just going to be a little, I don't know. I really do want the lithium ion in it, but the main focus here is it's just the Nano Talon is just becoming a pain in the arse. Why they encroached so much on the battery compartment, I have no idea. But that's what I have to work with. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'll get out of this somehow.